Hi friends, as I promised you in the classes, I am making this video to help you understand how you can plan for the next 2 months for your IPCC exams. So there are 8 subjects for us and we have 62 days of time. So how do you plan within the 60 days of time for your exam preparation? So by seeing in the slide, you might be assuming by seeing the words like attitude, plan and all these things, this is going to be a motivational video, but please understand this is not a motivational video. I am just trying to help you to plan for your exams. The first point which I wish to highlight over here, is the attitude with which you should prepare for the exams. My dear friends, I am saying you, please don't go with the attitude of 40 marks. I mean achieving 40 marks. This 40 marks attitude is not going to work at all. I am saying you very clearly, at any point of time for any of your subjects, any of your 8 subjects, please don't prepare for achieving the 40 marks. That will never help. You will end up failing that particular subject for sure. See, I'll say you this way. In our 10th class, in our plus 2 and all, we never prayed God asking for, God please help me to secure 40 marks. God please help me to secure 45 marks. We didn't ask at any point of time in that manner. Always, all the people who are watching this video, we used to pray the God for securing 90 marks, 95 marks, or sometimes even 100 marks. So in that particular way, our attitude used to be in that manner and our preparation also used to be in the same manner. Now also I am saying you, don't target for 40 marks. Always target for 80, 90, 95 marks in the IPCC exams as well. And that is possible. That attitude is very important. So please plan for 80, 90 marks. Then how do you plan? I mean, how do you break up these 60 days? See, if I was a student, I would have done in this particular manner. For me, I cannot sit and read theory for a long time. That is a usual problem for most of the students. So I will divide the subjects into theoretical subjects and problematic subjects. So I'll have practical subjects, which means problematic subjects, and then I'll have theoretical subjects. In my opinion, there are only 2 theory subjects for us. You can consider law also as theory, but for me, I feel always law is something which is practical oriented subject itself. For me, auditing is a theory subject. EISSM is a theory subject. Most of the times even students feel auditing is a theoretical subject and EISSM is a theoretical subject. Then rest of the 6 subjects, whatever the rest of the 6 subjects are there, those are all problematic papers. I would have divided in this manner. I'll take every day 12 hours. So I'll divide the 6 subjects for 60 days. Which means 10 days for every subject. And that too in such a way that 10 days for every subject, I will take up our group 1 accounts at the end. Which means at the end, in the sense, I will start group 1 accounts on October 21st. So by October 30th, I'll be completing the group 1 accounts. On October 20th, I'll be completing the group 1 accounts, and November 2nd, our exam will start. So I'll start the group 1 accounts at the end. So today what I will do, I'll take up the subjects like costing first, then probably financial management and economics, then probably the next subject. So in that way, I will go subject wise. Every 10 days once, I will change the subject. Every 10 days. So within the 10 days, you have to plan very critically. For example, let's assume from tomorrow, I'm going to start costing. If I'm going to start costing from tomorrow, you have to plan within 10 days. I mean within 10 days in the sense, you should plan for completing the subject within 9 days. Entire subject, you should divide it. What you should read on the first day, what you should read on the second day, what you should read on the third day. You should divide it and you should plan to complete within 9 days. On the 10th day, preferably you should see the previous examination questions, or on the 10th day, preferably you should read like anything spillover. I mean like now here and there, if you have left something, on the 10th day, you have to complete that particular aspect. So how do I plan every day? So I told you 10 days for every subject, and within that 10 days, on the very first day you will prepare the plan, 9 days you will implement the plan, 10th day you will read the previous examination questions and all. So this is going to be the approach. But sir, how do I plan my day? Minimum Nana, every day you have to prepare for 12 hours. By seeing that 12 number, you might feel that it is very difficult. But I'm saying you, already many of you have got used to attend the classes for 9 hours in a day, 10 hours in a day, 11 hours in a day. So preparing for 12 hours is not going to be difficulty at all. So within that 12 hours, what you should do is, within that 12 hours, 9 hours every day will be for the problematic papers. That is for the 6 subjects which we identified. Then 3 hours every day will be for the theoretical subjects. So within that 3 hours, you have to read this auditing and EIS and SM. So auditing and EIS SM, should I read every day, or should I complete EIS first, SM next, then auditing? How do I plan? That is your wish, Nana. Probably if you are able to concentrate for 3 hours on auditing, you can have that 3 hours of auditing continuously. Sir, should I sit for this 3 hours continuously? Again, that is your wish. See, during my preparation, I used to do this way. I'll prepare in the morning. Though people say morning are the fresh hours, but always I personally felt like in the night only my brain will be very much active. So in the morning I used to get up at 6:30, 7 o'clock. Till the evening 6 o'clock, till the evening 7 o'clock, I'll be practicing the problematic paper. Since I have practiced the problematic paper for 7 or 8 hours in a day, or 8 or 9 hours in a day, I'll have my brain very sharply. When it comes to the evening, seriously, problematic papers, we usually don't get tired very easily. When we get into the evening, then at that point of time, I'll be very sharp, I'll be very active in the day during that time. So during that time, I will start theoretical preparation. You have to see my speed while preparing the theory. I'll be going very fast because right from the morning, I was in a different sense of thinking. Now my brain became very, very active. I'll be focusing on theory. For theory also, I will plan properly. For example, for EISSM, I have given you day-wise plan. In the same way, you can have that particular plan. You can divide the subject and you can start reading. Probably 1.5 hour one subject, 1.5 hour other subject, or 3 hours the same subject. Whatever it is, you can plan preparation in that particular manner. See, one very important thing when you are studying for theoretical or problematic, let me give you a tip. So when I was preparing for problematic papers like FR, costing, financial management, so these kind of papers, what I used to do, I'll take up a particular chapter. So for example, let's take amalgamation, overheads, whatever it is. Each chapter will have 30 to 40 problems, even more than that. In the classroom, we would have solved 30 to 40 problems. I'll take that particular chapter. I will try solving each and every problem. Definitely, please remember, whenever you are preparing any subject, you should have book and pen with you. You should start solving it. For problematic paper, if you audit, okay, this I know, that is not going to help, Nana. That is not going to help. Definitely, you should solve. Probably if I feel this question is very simple, very easy, I for sure know it, then at the time you can skip. But for that, you have to solve it. But don't solve it like in your exam, putting a theory, pen, pencil, scale, all that is not required. Just roughly you can solve it. Compare your answer with the notebook answer, whatever the classroom notes you have or whatever the guide which you are following. Compare it with your answer. If you see any mistake, the answer which I obtained and the answer which is present in the guide, if you see any mistake, write it down on the guide itself. Guide or classroom notes, whatever it is. Take a different colored pen, red colored pen or brown colored pen, and write that particular mistake. Whatever you have identified, write that mistake over there. That will help you to fastly prepare tomorrow. So for problematic paper, what I am saying, first solve it for sure. Solve it. Don't like audit. It won't take too much of time. Don't worry. Because if you are writing for the second attempt, already you have that accumulated knowledge of the first attempt. But if you are writing for the first time, just now you have attended the classes. So for that reason, you will not have that difficulty. So solve it, for sure solve it. At least out of the 30 problems, minimum 15 problems you should solve. You should put it onto the paper. Number 2, highlight the mistake. While solving, highlight the mistake. Whatever the mistake you committed, write it down on the paper. Write it down on the classroom notes with a different colored pen. What is the mistake, you write it down. These are the tips which are given by our faculty during our preparation time. Third, very importantly for the problematic paper, if there are 40 problems in a chapter, overheads, there are 40 problems in a particular chapter. Will all 40 be different with each other? No. There will be only a small change for each and every problem. Highlight that particular change. Write down what is the change in each sum. What is the change? Basically, what is the difference between first problem and second problem? You have to note down that point. Second problem and third problem, you have to note down that point. You please note down that particular point. Then fourth, select any 4 to 5 sums for each and every chapter. 4 to 5 sums for each and every chapter, which you should be preparing on the day before exam. Because in amalgamation, if 40 problems are there, in overheads kind of chapter, standard costing kind of chapter, if 40 problems are there, on the day before exam, I cannot solve all the 40. I can solve only maximum this 4 to 5 problems. Then for rest of all the questions, I will just see these points which I have written. This helped me a lot. During my preparation, this helped me a lot. For every problematic paper, you have to see my book. I would have written, we used to call it as moral of the problem, or faculty used to call it as moral of the problem. I would have written that moral of the problem. I would have written that moral of the problem. That used to help me to revise quickly. That used to help me to revise quickly. That is the approach which you can follow for the problematic papers. You have to definitely write. See, I'm saying you, how much ever you write, that is better. Write as much as possible before the exam than writing the exam again and again. That is what is my principle during my preparation as well. That is what my principle was. Write as much as possible before the exam than writing the exam again and again. So please remember that particular thing. This is for problematic paper. Solve whatever the mistake, highlight whatever the difference, highlight, select any 4 problems for every chapter, and yes, you will be able to go forward. And it is easy. Within 10 days, if you have 10 days, which means 90 hours for the subject, right? It is definitely possible to do all these things. You need not worry about it at all. It is definitely possible. When it comes to theoretical subject, EASSM, auditing, or even law, when it comes to theoretical subject, what I used to do is, I'll read a paper and I will write the summary of that particular paper on that top of the book, top of the textbook or bottom of the textbook. I will write it. I'll definitely write it. Write more, for sure write more. I'll write it. Or if you don't wish to write on the classroom notes, people don't like sometimes, like spoiling the book and all. Take a book and pen and then write it over there. Don't write everything, just a small summary with the side headings and with the main keywords. Everybody will ask me one question, sir, should we by heart the theoretical subjects? Should we by heart? No, Nana, you need not by heart. I am saying you very clearly, by hearting is not possible. For any human being, by hearting these much sized books is not possible. A normal human being, it is not possible at all. So what I am trying to say is, understand and remember all the side headings, let it be auditing or let it be this one, and remember the keywords. That doesn't mean you can write on your own. For example, they asked you, what is the CARO applicability? For which companies CARO is applicable? You cannot write on your own, CARO is applicable for the bigger companies, CARO is applicable for the larger sized companies. No. CARO applicability is based on 3 conditions. Paid up capital condition, and then authorized capital condition, paid up capital condition, loans condition, and then whether you are a subsidiary of someone else. So in that way, 3 or 4 conditions are there. You should definitely write those conditions, and these kind of things you should definitely write in the same terminology. Like how it is there in the book, you should write in the same terminology. But when it comes to auditing standard, or when it comes to EIS and SM, you can remember the side headings. A little bit of key terms, keywords you should use, and then you can start writing. One important tip which I am giving for the theoretical subjects is, summarize everything at the top of every page. Summarize that page at the top of the page. I used to use these sticky notes to summarize. I used to paste the sticky notes at the top of every page, and then I used to write it in the summary format in each and every page. If you don't wish to use the sticky notes and all, you can write it in the pencil itself. Purchase a little lengthy sticky note and then paste it on every paper, and you can write the summary over there. That is summarize. Then second important point for theoretical subject is, you have to, whenever you read a theory subject, when you are sleeping, before you sleep, definitely revise it once. When you are sleeping, recollect all the points which you have read on that particular day. If you are not able to recollect, then and there itself open the book. Night, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, whenever you are sleeping, then and there itself open your book, read that particular point, then sleep. Revise for sure every night. For sure. Whenever you are sleeping, whatever you read for 3 hours theory in that particular day, revise for sure. This will make a lot of sense. When you read, your brain just understood. When you start revising, your brain is storing the data. Only when you revise, brain will store that particular data. So in the night you should revise, and then only you should sleep. At the end of every chapter in theory, for theory this is very very important, you should answer the previous exam questions or important questions. I told you where I have placed the EISSM important questions. You can go to the techieca.blogspot.com. You can identify the previous examination questions there, as well as important questions there for EIS and SM. So in the similar way for other subjects as well. What I am trying to say you is, previous examination questions answering is very important. Take these questions, once you complete the chapter, for that chapter take the previous examination questions, write them, not completely, don't write lengthy answers, don't waste your time. Write them two key. For example, first question, what are the advantages of cloud computing? Write it. These are the 8 points. First point, these are the 2 key terms. You should explain. Concept should be as per ICAI. Explanation will be in your own terms. Concept, whatever the ICA said, scalability, you can utilize how many ever amount of resources, how much ever amount of resources it is possible. This is the concept, right? This concept you can explain in your terms, but the the meaning should be same as per the ICA material. That is what I am trying to say you. So please write it. Previous examination questions, very, very important, write it. And at the same time, for all theory subjects, almost for all theory subjects, today we have MCQs. We are like in a significant advantageous position today. We have MCQs. For my subject, at least what I did, after you prepare for every day, for every day's preparation, I have given you the MCQs. So please go and answer those MCQs. Sir, what is the best source for preparing MCQs? Actually, there is no separate book as such which you need. When you are preparing for theory, that itself sufficient for MCQs. You practice some MCQs, that should be sufficient. I'll make another video exclusively on EISSM preparation. During that time, I'll say you where exactly MCQs are available for EISSM, at least for my subject. So this is the way in which you should definitely plan your preparation, Nana. Problematic subjects, solve it, write the differences, and then select 4 or 5 problems for each and every chapter, which should be difficult problems, which I should be practicing on day before examination. When it comes to theoretical subject, summarize on the top of every page, revise it. When you are sleeping, revise it, answer MCQ questions, answer previous examination questions and important questions. Answer them, not read them. Answer them. Answer previous exam without seeing the book, take the question and answer them. Then after that, you compare it with the book. But what I'm trying to say is you have to put your pen on the paper. That is what is very important. Then the next fourth point, I covered about preparation as well, right? How should you prepare? I told you how should you prepare as well. Sir, which materials I should follow? You can follow any material for any subject, Nana. There is no specific restriction as such. As long as you are following something relating to CA IPCC, as long as people have prepared that material on the basis of ICA books, there is no problem. You can follow that particular material. But don't forget to read revision test papers. For every subject, ICA will release the revision test papers. By this time, I think mostly it would have come. So you can go to the ICA website and download these revision test papers. You have to definitely read the revision test papers. You have to definitely answer the previous exam questions. I am not saying read the previous examination questions. I am saying answer. Write them. If not for problematic, at least for theoretical subjects, you have to write them for sure. Previous examination questions, writing is very, 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 very important. And practice some MCQs. These are the 3 materials. Main material, whatever the material you are following, plus revision test paper, plus previous examination questions. This should be sufficient for any subject. Now, when it comes to revision, sir, how many times should I revise? This is a very regular question which I keep asking from many of my students. How many times should I revise? I'll say you, for problematic subject, 1 preparation plus 1 revision should be sufficient. 1 preparation plus 1 revision. Even that revision can be on the day before exam day itself. Because problematic subject, we don't forget. Once we understand, we don't forget. But when it comes to theoretical paper, you have to revise 5 to 6 times. Sir, how will I revise 5 to 6 times, sir? Where is the time? I told you, right? Once you will prepare, during this 3 hours of time, you will prepare. Then second, in the night before you sleep, you will recollect the points. That is first revision. In the night when you sleep, you will recollect the points. That is the first revision. Then you will answer the MCQ questions. For now, I have given for every day's preparation MCQ questions have been placed on the blog. So that is a second revision. Third, you will actually revise at the previous examination questions. Previous exam questions and important questions. You will revise them. That will be a third revision. And day before exam, revise it twice. So with that, 5 revisions are completed. And day before exam, this time I am very lucky actually, because EISSM has 3 days of time gap. Diwali is there, 3 days of time gap is there. So you can actually revise 4th, 5th and 6th time on those 3 days. If you wish to start preparation on those 3 days, it is not possible. You are going to fail for sure. But if you wish to revise during that point of time, that 3 days will be absolutely sufficient. You can revise during that time. In this way, you can plan to revise 5 to 6 times. And it doesn't take a lot of time. Preparation might take a lot of time. But revision will not take a lot of time. You will just recollect the side headings and you will just recollect the main points. So for that reason, it doesn't take a lot of time. 3 hours of preparation which you had, you can recollect within 15 minutes, 20 minutes, not more than that. Now I wanted to answer certain important doubts which you guys usually ask. Important doubts. I know after placing this video there will be so many doubts. So for that particular reason, certain important doubts which you will ask. First doubt, sir, my classes itself are going to continue till September 30th or September 15th. September 30th or September 15th. You are giving a 60 days plan. How should I follow? My dear friends, in that case, there are two categories of students. Students who have already prepared for the past months. They started their preparation in the month of June, July, August. They already know 30 to 40% of the subject. 30 to 40% of the subject. In all subjects, like, here and there. Certain subjects in full, certain subjects in half. So 30 to 40% they have completed their preparation. Certain students, they are starting afresh. They are starting afresh only now, only on September 15th or September 16th, or maybe on September 30th, they are going to start. For these people who have completed already 30-40% of the subject, they can go for both the groups, Nana. They can go for both the groups. But for them, since they have already prepared 30-40% of the subject, they have to reduce their preparation time to 5 days for each subject. They have to reduce their preparation time to 5 days for each subject. Theoretical time also, they have to reduce it a lot. They have to prepare accordingly. But let us come to the students who are going to start afresh on the September 30th. My personal suggestion for them is go for one group, Nana. Go for one group. Nothing wrong in going for one group today. You can go for one group instead of like half here, half there. Half in the first group preparation, half in the second group preparation. Don't get confused yourself. Go with one group itself. Completely prepare for that particular group. You have 30 days of time, right? 30 days of time. 3 subjects 10 hours. One subject every day 3 hours. The theoretical subject, whatever it is there in the group. One subject every day 3 hours. In that particular manner you can prepare. I would suggest to go for one group. Usually people used to argue, sir, it is very difficult to pass the second group standalone. Second group standalone, it is very difficult to practice. Today it is not the truth. Today it is not the truth, for the reason that we have 4 subjects in the second group where 2 problematic subjects are there. Accounts is also there in the second group, as well as FM and economics is also there in the second group. FM and economics is also there in the second group. Moreover, very importantly, MCQs are there in ITSM, EISSM and then auditing. MCQs are there. Because of all these reasons, standalone passing the second group is also not difficult option today, and many students these days are getting the exemptions in the second group in all the subjects. So for that particular reason it is not difficult. Nothing, no humiliation. You can go for one group if you are planning to start your preparation on September 30th. That is my sincere suggestion. Please go accordingly. So that is what I am saying you. Ignore the second doubt whether sir November 2020 exams will be there or not. I am going to kill you guys if you are going to ask this question. Please don't worry about ICAI plan. Please don't worry about ICAI plan. They have clearly said you I am going to start the exams on November 2nd. You plan accordingly for November 2nd. That's it. Whether exams are going to be there or not, that is a different plan. That is a different thing which ICAI should solve. Why are you worried? You should definitely go for this particular November 2020 plan. Sir, I am an article assistant. Already I am doing my articles. I have already completed first group. I have only second group left over. Nana, for you also this will be sufficient. You please request your boss. Every day you have to ensure a minimum of 4 to 5 hours preparation is there for you. Minimum of 4 to 5 hours preparation is there for you. Ensure in that particular manner and then prepare. So please, and anyway your boss will provide 10 or 15 days of leave before the exam, right? Within that time you have to plan and then you have to prepare. So that is what is my important tips, important doubts which I wish to clarify through this exam. All the very best. I am going to make a separate video only on EISSM. How do you prepare for EISSM? And one short video on how do you present the paper in the examination. You can follow in this channel itself and you can watch those videos as well. Thank you. If you have any doubts, please let me know in the comments section. I'll try solving them. Thank you very much.